Hello and welcome to another video, and today we are looking at the IniBulds A320neo and we're flying from Cebu with Cebu Pacific. Here we go, Mactan Cebu Airport to Bicol International Airport near Legazpi in Bicol. Now the reason why I'm doing this is because I've already featured the fantastic study level Phoenix Airbus A320. Today is the IniBulds, which is not, it's almost study level actually. It's very good in its systems, and IniBulds have done a fantastic job. This is available on PC and on Xbox via the Marketplace store within the game, which means a brilliantly fantastic, well detailed, and also a very I guess systems detailed aircraft is now available even on the Xbox. Now there's a reason why I'm doing this flight and in Cebu Pacific, and it's because Cebu Pacific just recently put in a big order for the Airbus A320neo. Now we'll go back into the cockpit, or we'll go into the cockpit and we'll set up our flight to Bicol. Now why Bicol? You might be thinking. Well, one, it's a short flight, and two, Bicol Airport is brand new. It's relatively new. I think within the last few years it only opened. So why not run this flight? We are flying today on Cebu Pacific, flight 147, I believe it is. But first we'll set up our on the MCDMU, and we'll make sure that we can fly. So we'll go to the init page, waiting for systems to respond. Now, I don't know why our flight plan hasn't been added to the MCDMU. I think, oh, it is here, sim brief. But I don't know if it will go into the, no, it doesn't go into the MCDMU. That's fine. So that means we'll have to set it up ourselves. So we are flying from Romeo Papa Victor Mike, which is here in Cebu, and we're going to Romeo Papa, what is it, Lima Kilo. Perfect. Flight number today, let me just double check because I want to make sure we got this right. We are Cebu 172, so CEB 172. Flight number. Cost index today, we'll do a nice relatively eco. It's not really relatively eco, but it's fine, and we'll cruise at flight level 200 or 20,000 feet. So we'll go to flight plan now. We will set departure for runway 22, and we'll be doing a Bata 2 Bravo, which will take us over Bantayan Island. We're not going to be transitioning today. None. And then we'll insert, and that should give us our, well, we got a flight discontinuity here. And let me just, oh wait, hang on a second, something hasn't quite worked here. Let's try that again. Departure 22 Bata 2 Bravo, insert. There we go. That's what I did wrong. That was strange. I haven't seen that in the MCDMU, so that's good. And then our arrival. Let me just check our Simbrief flight plan rather quickly. Our estimated arrival will be on 05. So we don't have any arrivals, so it will be no arrivals. Actually, they don't have any runways or anything, so we're going to have to do visual approach runway 05. Now we might have a problem with flying up to there, but that's not a problem. We'll just clear that discontinuity from Bantayan, and just we'll go direct from there, and then we should be not necessarily vectored, but we should get some kind of clearances anyway. I have set up the ATC on this one to make sure that we can actually fly in a relatively meaningful order. Anyway, that's perfect. Next we're going to check the ATIS for Cebu. Oh yeah, I forgot. This is one thing I find interesting about this. We have to, there we go.
Echo 0600 Zulu. Wind 272 at 8. Visibility 5 in heavy rain. Sky condition few clouds at 2,500 feet. Few clouds at 4,800 feet. Temperature 27. Dew point 10. QNH 29.85. Visual runway 22 right and visual runway 22 in use. Landing and departing runway 22 right and runway 22. DFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back, hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact. You have echo.
Alright, we have information echo. We've got our altimeter set. Passengers are still boarding, as you can see. We'll turn on the seatbelt sign because we're not doing any kind of refueling or anything like that. We'll turn on the APU bleed and turn off the external power. And then what we'll do, we'll call for our IFR clearance. Oh, you can really hear the air conditioning running now, can't you? Or is that just the plane passing us? Can't really tell, to be honest. There we go.
Cebu 172 IFR to Romeo Papa Lima Kilo, ready to copy.
Cebu 172 is cleared to Romeo Papa Lima Kilo Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 22 climb and maintain 8,000 feet. Departure frequency is 127.5 squawk 6663.
6663.
Cebu 172 cleared to Romeo Papa Lima Kilo Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 22 climb and maintain 8,000 feet. Departure on 127.5 squawk 6663.
Cebu 172 read that correct. Contact ground on 121.8. Good day.
121.8. Just do it like that for now. Okay, perfect. So now we're just waiting for the final passengers to board via the jet bridge here at Mactan, and then we'll climb out. As I mentioned before, I have obviously featured, you've probably seen a couple of videos now of the Felix A320. Oh, we better do our second page in it because we haven't done the block and the zero fuel weight, which we can just put in there. And it should be 5.3 on the block. If it's... it should give us the correct weights. And we'll just do some takeoff. Surface is wet. We are runway 22 for departure. We'll sync the conditions. Weight for takeoff. Our gross weight, we don't have it appearing on there yet, but that's fine. Go to performance page. But our estimated takeoff weight is approximately, where are we? Estimated zero fuel takeoff weight is 61.0 tons. So 61. Air conditioning on, anti-ice off, force toga off. We'll do flaps 1 for takeoff, calculate, and that gives us our flex of 58, and then we'll send it to here, and it should come up on here. Okay. Oh right, confirm data. I always forget to do that, you know. Then we are flaps 1. Okie dokie, so we can start our pushback now. We'll tell GSX to prepare for pushback and departure. And the doors should close. We'll close our door as well, and we'll lock it behind us. We'll lock the door. Doesn't do anything anymore. Okay, so on the old fly-by-wire it does something. Okay, all doors are closed. Let's double check. Set the beacon light on. Okay, we are ready for pushback. And once again, during my recordings, there is no audio from the GSX system, which is fine. It's not a problem. So, as I mentioned, we're flying to Bicol International Airport, which is a new airport which replaced Legazpi's airport, which is right in the city centre. And a lot of airports have been like that here in the Philippines, including my wife's home city of Bacolod, which had a airport right in the middle of the city, but now Bacolod Silay is the current airport and is outside the city centre. The same as Iloilo, which featured on a previous video as well, where Iloilo also had a city centre airport and is now been moved to the outskirts of the city. Interestingly, with Iloilo, the site has been redeveloped, and I've actually been there. Back in 2019, I was in that area, which is now a shopping district, and there's quite a few things going on, which is very interesting. But yeah, so it's a very common thing in the Philippines where the old airports are in the city centre. Now, some airports have had bad reputations as well with overruns, which caused problems. I mean, Bacolod is a prime example. I think there was a Philippine Airlines A320 back in the day. It overran there. And so, yeah, it's just easier to do it that way. Okay, we're going to nose to the... Going to go left for the for the pushback because we are taking off on 22, which is going to be a short taxi today. So, parking brake is off. We're now pushing back. Start engines from engine 2 first. Engine 2. The A320 sounds a lot different to Phoenix's A320, but the sounds are great nonetheless. The engine is coming up nicely. I don't know what that noise is. There's like a weird background noise. I don't know if you can hear that. Oh, we nearly hit another aeroplane on the pushback. Well, it must be like a weird GSX sort of related pushback sort of issue. So we nearly hit another A320neo. Looks like it's... I'm not too sure if it's correctly parking itself in the domestic terminal. But, you know, we have traffic, and I love this traffic. There's another A320neo there from Scoot, which I've also flown in, believe it or not. And if I'm honest, Scoot is probably one of the best airlines I've actually flown with. They have fantastic flight crews, and I'll have to tell a story one day about it. Okay, engine 2 is clear. We'll set the parking brake. We'll let GSX know as well that we will confirm the start. Confirm good engine start. So they're going to disconnect. It's going to take a few minutes, and in the meantime, I know a lot of airlines don't really do it, but we'll just go into engine 1. That will save my workload once we come out of the pushback. Now I'm going to try to do... Oh, there we go. Let's see what kind of wing views we got, because... Oh, so they got the default ones, which is nice. I think we've got a little bit too much background noise here, because I can't hear the spule up of the... can't hear the fantastic spule up that these engines make. I believe on these Cebu ones, they use the Pratt & Whitney engines, and it's one of the reasons why they've had to wet lease a lot of aircraft, because, well, two things. One, there's a big back order of Airbus A320 aircraft, and two, these Pratt & Whitney engines that are fitted to these A320neos and 321neos have been recalled, and so they have to be double checked, triple checked, etc., etc. Safety, remember, on the airline industry is the #1 priority, so that's important. So there's our marshaller, probably going to wave at us. Bye bye. There we go. And we'll just let the engine... There we go. The engine has stabilized itself. Now, first thing we'll do is a flight controls check. Flight controls. Full left. And full right. Neutral. Full up. Full down. Neutral, rudder left, rudder right, and neutral. Utilizing COG. Oh, init page. Not allowed because we started the engine already. Fantastic. Anyway. Okay, so that's good. We'll go flaps 1. We'll take the flight controls off. Flaps set to 1. Ignition to normal. APU bleed is off. APU master is off. And then we'll call for IFR. Taxi. Taxi light on.
Taxi IFR.
Cebu 172 taxi to and halt short of runway 22 using taxiway. Foxtrot Delta Bravo Charlie.
We'll arm the spoilers.
Contact tower on 118.1 when ready.
Max the...
Taxi to
Perfect.
and hold short runway 22 via taxiway Foxtrot
And
Delta
then,
Bravo
because
Charlie
I don't
Cebu
know...
172.
So we'll put system 1 for the predictive wind shear. Okay. Parking brake comes off and we'll start our taxi now. Oops. Fantastic. $10 knots. We'll do a brake check. Brake check. Pressures are all good. They haven't adjusted themselves. Now, as you know from previous videos, because most of my videos on Flight Sim have actually been here in the Philippines, because I absolutely love it. I have to do some more around the UK, especially since the most recent world update, which is fantastic, because they've really done a good job. I've done a few flights. I might even feature a London to Cork flight on the Phoenix 320 with, or even this IniBulds 320neo with Aer Lingus, because there's a nice, you know, about 45-minute flight from Heathrow over there to Cork, and Heathrow is one of the IniBulds' first airports that they produce for Microsoft Flight Sim, and in fact it's a it's not a bad build, really. It's not completely detailed, but it was available in the premium edition of the flight simulator, which is the one I have. It even includes the Dreamliner, the -10 version of the Dreamliner. We're going to taxi a little bit faster now. We'll just let the aircraft speed up. And it's a very, very miserable day, but we know that in the Philippines at the moment there's been tropical storm passing through, and of course lots of low pressures, as you can tell by our altimeter here at 29885. So it's, you know, we've got quite a low pressure going on. So we're just going to taxi all the way to the end of the at the end of this taxiway, and then we'll turn on to the runway and we'll take off on a Flex 58 takeoff. We won't speed past 30 knots, but we're pretty much coming to the end of the taxiway now. So we'll just ease off. Now the rain is pretty bad here today. And I like the fact that in the passenger view they've got the rain effect on the windows there. Now I don't know if they'll show the rain effect. I don't know if they'll show the rain effect as, you know, with speed. We can check that in a minute once we line up on the runway. Now we'll switch to tower. And we'll get to the end of this taxiway here, and we'll request. This is the new runway, by the way, but it's still, I don't believe it's operational at all at the moment. But the construction has finished, long finished actually. And then we'll just stop before this hold short line, because lots of aircraft will be flying using the ILS today. We'll set our parking brake, and then we'll call ATC for our clearance for takeoff.
McTan Tower Cebu 172 ready for IFR departure runway 22.
Cebu 172 hold short, runway 22. Traffic is Airbus on
Yeah, there it is. It just landed.
Hold short runway 22 Cebu 172.
There's a perfect opportunity actually while we're waiting is to put on the TCAS, which we'll put on TR and RA. Traffic avoidance.
Cebu Air 59er 6 exit runway when able.
We'll just wait for our colleagues to come off the runway now. And once our colleagues are off, I don't believe there's anybody else due in at the moment.
Cebu Air 59er 6 contact ground on 121.8. Cebu 172.
There you go.
29er.85 when 272
We'll
at
check.
8. Cleared for takeoff, runway 22.
Cleared for
Perfect.
takeoff runway 22, Cebu 172.
Going to 121.8, Cebu Air 59er 6.
Now I've had a view literally like this, but in the Cathay Pacific A321neo, which to be honest with you, absolutely fantastic. Fantastic aircraft, those Cathay 321neos. And they're one of the first aeroplanes in economy to feature 4K TVs and Bluetooth connectivity. Anyway, we are here at the runway. We'll hold the brakes up to 50%. We'll let the engine stabilize. Oh, there's the whine. And then we'll release the brakes and let's get it into. There you go, man flex SRS. For some reason, no runway, but that's fine. And yet the water moves with the speed, as you can see. That's great. Anyway, we'll concentrate on the runway. Airspeed is alive. And thrust is set. Nice economical thrust for today. 100 knots is checked. V1. Rotate. Rotate, there we go. We've got a positive rate of climb, gears coming up. Losing a bit of speed. It's quite a shallow departure this, with flex 58. Autopilot's coming on.
127.5, Cebu 172.
125.5. Oops.
127.5, Cebu 172.
I messed that one up.
Goodbye.
And then we can turn the wipers off now that we're off the ground. Bring in the spoilers. Contact. This is a very, very shallow climb out. And I forgot to set the clocks. It's fine. $1,500. We'll go to climb thrust. Climb thrust set. Now we can turn off the wheel lights as well. Perfect. What a nice departure. And very, very low visibility, but you can just about make out the edge of Mactan Island over here and the edge of the city of Cebu. So we'll maintain our seatbelt sign on. As we approach the S dot speed, we can then clean config and the aircraft will turn to the left. Flaps are coming up. You can see the rain is still battering our aircraft right now. And the temperature outside is 20. Well, static temperature is 22. The air temperature is 29. Very good. And we're just gonna make a right turn now. But if there was visibility, I would show you the city of Cebu, which I'm sure you've seen in a previous video of mine. But this is the first time inside the IniBulds 320. You can see the wing flex there. Now hopefully we'll break through these clouds soon and we can enjoy the views from up top, because I absolutely love the views from up top. We'll just keep an eye out as well on the TCAS, because we've got no visual, we've got nothing visual to see. So we'll keep an eye out for any blips on our TCAS on our ND display here. But we're making our initial climb up to 8,000 feet. That's quite interesting actually. With Flex 58 there in Mactan, we took off about 3/4 the way down the runway, and we had a very shallow initial climb out, which is, you know, I don't know if that's a feature on the A320neo. I'm sure there are people out there who would know that sort of information, pilots and engineers, etc. But that's quite interesting for me anyway. I think that was our call sign. Yeah. 15. We're now breaking through the clouds. Now I love how Flight Simulator transitions, and you saw it on the ground where it's very, very dark, you know, because of the very, very thick clouds that we are coming into. But now as we break through the clouds, why has the aircraft... That's strange. The aircraft just overdid the turn, as you can see on the ND here. I hope it fixes itself. I need to keep an eye. But I love the like I say, I love the transitions of the clouds. You know, when we go through the thick and the lighter clouds, and breaking close to the edge of the clouds also. And we still got some rain as well on the windows, as you can see. Still climbing out. Approaching 10,000 feet, so we're going to start accelerating, and we'll bring in the lights. 10,000 feet, so the speed is going to increase now as we're in acceleration. So for some reason the aircraft really overdid the turn there. Now I don't know if it's because it was a 90-degree turn and it just sort of really missed the mark with calculating the turn, but it somehow recovered itself with like an S turn. But we're climbing quite fast anyway. We're above 10,000 feet, so we're outside of sterile cockpit territory. I've still got the seatbelt sign on for the meantime because we're still flying through the clouds. And we're now at transitional altitude, so we'll just pull the altimeter displays here. And we might hit a bit more turbulence as we fly through these clouds over here, just outside of our window 12 o'clock. You can see the sun hitting the wing, very nicely done. And we're just sort of skimming the edge of the clouds now. We're 5 minutes into the flight. There's some blips on the TCAS blips on here, but it looks like they're a no factor anyway. This one is, what, 4,000 feet below. This one is 1,400 feet below, so we're not too bad. And I think after this cloud here, we can probably turn off our seatbelt sign and let the passengers have at least 15 minutes of walk around. Yeah, I think we're good. Yep. We'll turn off the seatbelt sign, and fantastic. Now, one of the things I do like about this aircraft, we're going up to our cruise now. So, one of the things I do like about this aircraft is, like the Phoenix, it has a full cabin. And in fact, the unfortunate thing about this full cabin is that it's not available to all customers of this A320neo from IniBulds, because if you're on the Xbox and you've downloaded this, unfortunately you won't get this nice cabin. I say it's a nice cabin, but it's stuck on one sort of layout, and this is actually, it just reminds me very heavily of the Lufthansa 320 cabin. In real life, similar seating that Cebu Pacific uses, but the overhead bins, they're the newer high density overhead bins here, so there's a slightly different look from this side. And I don't know if this, we can go to the back of the cabin to check if it's a cabin flex A320 cabin. So we'll just go for a little walk to the back of the plane. If you don't mind joining me, we'll go for a nice little walk. And if you guys are familiar with the A320, you'll be thinking this looks very, very similar. You know, very, very familiar. And that's because it is. You know. Now we're gonna go to the back of the plane, but it looks like I think this is actually. Oh no, what did I do there? I think this is. Yep, this is the cabin flex A320. I'll show you what that is, because I featured the Phoenix one, which isn't a cabin flex, and that, if you look over here, you get an additional 12 seats, because you get these 2 extra rows here. I think it's 2. Would you get? You get 6 extra seats, don't you? Because you get these 3 and these 3, which don't have windows next to them, and because this is where the toilets are on the standard layout, if you go to the back here, there are 2 toilets in here. 1, 2. Now I'm a broad-shouldered person, and the first time I flew in an A320, which was a SAS. I don't know what the brand is that they use for the flights from London, but with the Irish registrations, they have this cabin flex layout, and I was in one of these, and I just couldn't sit down on the toilet properly because my shoulders were touching each side of the loo, or the toilet. I'm British, so the loo is like a very similar, or very term that we use. But yeah, they have a smaller galley, as you can see here, and then 2 toilets here instead of the 2 toilets where these 6 seats are. Anyway, we'll go back to the cockpit because we're going to have to start prepping for the landing. It's a shame that on this particular Cebu Pacific livery there's no customization in the cabin, and I'm pretty sure that there might be some liveries that include some kind of customization, similar to what we've seen with Phoenix, where you'll have custom seats, the pockets will have custom cards in them with the airline to note, and even those cabin trolleys for the refreshments and that often will have some of the creators will put the branding on it for the airline. But here, as you can see, this is just a generic A320 safety card with no airline branding, and there's a sick bag in there as well. And such a shame that they didn't put anything here on the front row. And in fact, actually, these are the bog standard seats that they've put on the front row. IniBulds, what are you doing? But all things aside, this is a completely free aircraft, so I'm not complaining, you know, like their A310, which for some reason I cannot get to work anymore. I downloaded it when it first came out, it was working fine, but now I cannot. So, you know, it's fine. But it had a very, very detailed cabin as well. Anyway, we'll go back to the cockpit because we need to start prepping for our landing into Bicol. Now, we don't have any set procedures built into the aircraft, nor on Flight Simulator, so we have to do everything. It will probably be vectored into Bicol, but that's fine. So top of descent is approximately, we can actually check on here, why am I saying approximately? Top of descent is 47 nautical miles away, and that can be backed up by the little notch on there, but we'll also wait for the ATC clearance for our landing. One of the things I actually found very interesting about the A320 auto thrust system that I found out recently was that the auto thrust system, although the throttles do not move, if you move the levers, let's say down from that climb gate, the aircraft will be restricted in the amount of maximum thrust that it will provide. And it will only go as far as the position that you've set it to, which I find really, really interesting. So like I say, even though the levers don't move like in the Boeing aircraft, you still get a chance to sort of control how much power you like. So we need to put in our destination info according to the MCDMU, which is fine. I don't know what the QNH is because we don't know what we don't have any meta for the airport. Because if I open up the dashboard, you can see here it just says refreshing. So we don't have meta for the airport, but it's not a problem. So I'm not going to guess, I'm just going to leave it. But the Barrio, because we'll probably be on a visual approach, we'll do quite a high Barrio. Barrio will be the biometric altitude above, or radio altitude. So if we do 500, and we got a landing speed of 128, which is fine. So that's all I have to do on this, because unlike the Phoenix, there's no way of doing calculations for landing, you know. So we'll just leave it at that. I'll leave it back on this dashboard page, and we'll just wait for our top of descent, which will come up soon. We've been flying for 13 minutes, so we'll check actually our flight plan, and our estimated arrival time 0707. We're on 0747, so that's 20 minutes there, give or take, until our arrival. And the beautiful thing about Bicol as well is the site of Mount Mayon volcano, which is almost a perfect triangle, and it's absolutely beautiful. I've never seen it in real life, so I couldn't tell you what it really looks like, but at least in the game it looks fantastic. So there's another reason why I wanted to fly this route today. In fact, I think you might be able to just about meet it, you know, see it over there on the horizon. And we'll just wait for A2C, because they should give us our descent clearance soon. And we got no messages, which is good. Our fuel on board is 3.8 tons. I believe the estimated fuel burn is supposed to be 1.8, so I think we're actually burning a bit more fuel than we're supposed to. Because we started at 5.6, I think it was. 5.3. We've got a lot of passengers on this flight, but I hope that I can do some more flights on this IniBulds as well as the Phoenix, because I think the two combined, they're absolutely fantastic products. And I might do a video with a British Airways A320 on the Phoenix, because they have a lot of A320s that are over 20 years old, and you know, I believe that some of them even still have the CRT monitors instead of the LEDs or LCDs. I don't know what they use actually on here. I think it's LCDs. But yeah, so I find that quite interesting as well, like that we can fly maybe a flight using one of those older ones. In fact, one of the planes I've got, I can't remember what the registration is on it, but it is one of the earlier 320-200s, because they did actually have 320-100s as well, which were inherited, I believe, from the Caledonian Airlines when they were merged into British Airways. So we're approaching our top of descent. Top of descent 0652, so 2 minutes to our descent. and we're expecting our descent clearance with the ATC as well. Now we're expecting a 05 arrival, so that would require us to do a slight left turn and then a right turn base into the airfield. That should be okay, and I'm pretty sure that is Mount Mayon just ahead of us, but you'll see it in much better detail once we land. Or in fact, if we're on a 05, you'll see it in the windscreen slightly to the left side, so that's going to be very, very interesting arrival. We'll see if I can set up GSX. No, it's got Mazbat on there, so we'll just take off the GSX.
Airfield 2988, climb and maintain flight level 360.
I'm expecting the MACTAN Center to start our descent any moment. There we go.
70 miles south. Descend and maintain 8,000 feet. Expect vectors. Visual runway 05 approach. Cebu 172 descend and maintain 2,300 feet.
Do an open descent.
Descend and maintain 2,300 feet.
2,300, so they want us to go all the way down basically.
172.
There we go. We're starting our descent.
Climb and maintain flight level 360. Airfield 2988.
We'll just do a bog standard descent. That should bring us quite nicely towards the airport. Now I have no charts or anything for this approach, so this is all done on whatever the ATC gives us and also what we can see out of our window. So we're not too bad. We're 18 minutes into our flight and we're starting our descent. I'm expecting to put the seatbelt sign on around 10,000 feet. By the looks of the cloud layers here, we don't really have major issues with the weather. Like I say, I can't retrieve any info about the airport here. I like this little progress bar on the tablet here, which tells us that we are 3/4 the way into our flight already. And this is one of the reasons why I've chosen this flight. Oh, sorry, I just put the blind there for some reason, but that's okay. And we'll see if we can set up GSX or try again. No, it wants to do Mazbat, so we'll do it a bit closer to our landing. So that's why I had to do a direct on the... So from our departure from Cebu, I've had to do a direct to Romeo Papa Lima Kilo because, you know, there's none in the aircraft, approach plates, patterns, etc. And there's none on Flight Simulator itself, so I couldn't set it up at all, which is not a problem. So we're just going down now very, very nicely. We'll go in for the visual approach. I'm expecting to do like a slight left turn because, as you can see, 04 will be sort of at about 2 o'clock position from our current position because we're almost due north actually right now on our heading. So if we did a sort of left turn around where we are due to join flight level 023, make a left turn and then a right turn in. But we'll also see what ATC gives us as well in terms of our vectoring. The nice steady descent down, which is good for fuel consumption, and it will, you know, a nice what's the word, even descent, which is also again very good for fuel consumption, which is what pilots are encouraged to do these days instead of doing what they call step down approaches. Of course, in some airports you don't really have the choice. You might have to do step down approaches because of congestion reasons, you know, which is, you know, it's acceptable in busy areas.
Cebu 172, please expedite your descent 2,300 feet.
Alright. We'll just do an open descent then, shall we? We'll just do an open descent. Now, I found out recently as well what this expedite button does. Now, I don't want to do it now because it's going to give us a very, very fast descent, which we don't need because, you know, we are we are quite a long way from the airport, so I'm going to bring it back to a normal descent, so we're not going too deep, you know, because otherwise we're going to get to 2,300 well in advance of where we need to be. So the ATC can go, well, to put it politely, go shove it, but it's fine. We are good. Flight time now 22 minutes. And we should be on the ground approximately 0716. So another 20 minutes, huh? Well, we've lost a bit of time on our descent then. But that's not a problem. So you could definitely see Mount Mayon there, the very triangular shape that it is, right in front of us. Fantastic view actually from the south, coming from Cebu. So it's a nice easy descent. We'll have a look out the window. Oops, I clicked the wrong button. It's a shame that there's only two interior views on this particular camera. I don't know what this camera is called, but that camera type. But it's alright. And I'll check GSX again. No, it still wants me to set up at Masbat. But it's not a problem, because I can see Mount Mayon in front of us. It looks like we've got quite a clear area actually, which is good, because this will be a completely visual arrival. Probably I'll end up hand flying it as well, pretty much all the way, once we reach probably this point at 2,300. Coming through 11,000 feet. We might actually be able to go like slightly askew to our flight plan, and then just do a final right turn on, you know, a right turn on final. I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure how we'll fly this at the moment, but you know, got it in my head that we've got two options. We can go, as soon as we hit the bottom of this descent, we turn to the left. That should give us enough time to lose a bit of altitude, make a turn, and land 04. Or we can go, we can probably go maybe a few nautical miles out. Let's get our landing lights on, and we'll get the seatbelt sign on as well. Now we're at 10,000 feet. I heard the bing, it's good. We need to lose a bit of speed as well, because we're going a bit quick. And there's the speed brakes coming out, because we need to be below 2,500 knots. But 2,500? 250 knots below 10,000 feet.
Airfield 2988, contact Manila Center on 128.3. Good day. Cebu 172, contact approach on 120.
Alright, we're going into the approach.
Good day. 128.3 airfield 2988.
In fact, I think I can see the airport there. Oh crap. Yeah, Shustar. What is going on now? There we go.
120.2
Right. Oh, there's a bit of artifacting going on over there. Oh, contact approach.
Cebu 172 is at 7,600 feet, descending 2,000.
I'm not too sure what that artifacting is all about on my screen right now. 8-3. And 8-3. I might transfer to heading mode. I don't know why there's some artifacting there, and it looks like it's right at the foot of our runway there that we need to use. Now I don't know if the air traffic control will vector us, or they might just tell us runway is 12 o'clock, tell us when you got it in sight. Now I have it in sight, you know, it's just there. In fact, there's Legazpi city itself, and then you can see the airport almost right at the foot of Mount Mayon. Now I don't know if I should go into heading mode, start a turn so I can line up better with the runway, because I don't know what they're going to vector me to do. Interesting proposition we have here, isn't it? Now we're going to be leveling off for a bit. Oh, the artifacting is slowly disappearing, which is nice. And yeah, it looks like the runway's over there, so...
Cebu 172 Airport is 14 miles at your 12 o'clock. Maintain present heading and altitude. Report runway in sight.
Maintain present heading and altitude, Cebu 172.
Yeah, I got the
Cebu
runway in sight.
172 runway in sight.
Cebu 172, you are 13 miles.
There you go, now it's giving us vectors.
Turn left, heading 355.
355. That's a bit too shallow for my liking.
Turn left heading 355. Tower on 118.7 Cebu 172.
We are very low now. I'm going to make a much steeper turn actually, because I don't like the... Oh, speed brake is still out. Damn it. Not paying attention. Thank you. I like that. Wind's calm. 05 approach.
Visual runway 05 approach Cebu 172.
So runway's over there. And we'll go to we'll start our approach deceleration as well. You can see the airfield. We'll descend down to 1008. Open descent I think will do. There you go. We'll set a medium. We need to lose a lot more speed than this. Flaps are going down. Speed brakes are coming out as well. Oh my god, the plane is bouncing like crazy, huh? Let's turn the aircraft to the right. We'll call... Just get the aircraft set up. These winds are not calm at all, are they? This is a very unstable approach.
Clear to land runway 05 Cebu 172.
I'm going to see if we can recover it actually. We're a bit high, but that's okay. You know what? This is not a bad approach. Oh shoot. We'll arm the spoilers. Flaps to full. Overshot slightly, but we're a bit high as well. Turn off the FD. Just level out the aircraft. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. So we got no yellow. Beautiful approach. It was a little bit weird though. when we were doing that deceleration. It was going all over the place. But hopefully we can land and then taxi straight off and into the ramp. Now I've set up so that they are ready for us on the ground. I believe in gate number 2. So beautifully done and well recovered from my side. That was definitely unexpected, but there you have it. There's a mast there for some reason. 2 of them. Very high. Our pappies are good. 2 whites and 2 reds.
Minimum.
Continue. Stable approach. Surprisingly.
100.
Just bring the aircraft down a bit more.
50. 40.
And we'll idle the
30,
thrust.
20.
Flare
10,
the aircraft.
5.
There we go. Beautiful. Full reverse. Not too much on the rudder. $80 knots. Reverses are going out. And we've just passed the taxiway. But that's okay. We can do a quick turnaround on the runway.
Cebu 172, turn next taxiway.
20 knots. It's okay. Get it down. There's my on the left. And then we'll make a quick turnaround. Flaps can come up. And that was 33 minutes flight time, which is not bad. I was expecting 47. Thereabouts.
Cebu 172, exit runway when able.
Disarm that. We'll turn off the TCAS. Landing lights can come off as well. APU can come on. We can start the APU. Just be careful. I have to do everything on my own. It's difficult. Especially in small airports. Because you got to get everything sort of running all at the same time. But that was perfect. I didn't like that really shaky turn though when we were decelerating for the approach, but that's okay.
Going to 118.7 Cebu 172.
I'll just double check what gate I selected. Gate 2. So we're going to gate 2 for our arrival today. In fact, you know what? I'm going to change the gate because I don't think that's one of the... Oh no, it must be one of the ones with the jet bridges. It's okay. We'll just go ahead and do it. And the clocks are still running, but that's fine. We'll turn off our taxi lights. There's gate 2 on there. Oh my god, why am I oversteering the aircraft? There we go, Bicol International Airport. What a beautiful airport that this is. And it's a perfect size runway for the A320 and the A321neo. And we got the marshaller there. Oh, whoa, 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 I overshot. Big time. Sorry. Right. Parking brake is off. We'll cut the engines. And deboard the aircraft. Thank you very much for flying with me today. That was a fantastic flight, actually. Not too bad. And we've landed in a beautiful Bicol. I know we've landed a bit too far. I do apologize, GSX. And the engines are spooling back beautifully. Let's get the seatbelt sign off as well. And we'll get the bleed on so we can have some air conditioning inside the aircraft. Right, let's get outside of the aeroplane. We're a bit askew here. And yeah, thank you for joining me on this beautiful, beautiful flight from Cebu to Bicol. Now, this airport is nice. Again, it's freeware, like all of the aircraft, almost all of the airports I have in Flight Sim. And this has a little bit of an interior view. Look, Bicol International Airport. And look at that. It's got a nice little interior, Dunkin' Donuts, and a couple of branches there. There's a basic security, but it's good. It's good. Look. And look at that fantastic view as well. From here, as a passenger, you can see Mount Mayon and the A320. Anyway, let me finish you off with this absolutely fantastic view. Hang on. I think I can do a better job with the point of view. There you go. Look at that. Now that is a picture and a half, isn't it just? So thank you very much for joining me. Oh my gosh. For joining me on this flight from Cebu to Bicol. And I hope you will join me on another one.